everybody? David here to do Erschen's Revenge of the Horror sequel tag. It's got 13 questions, challenges, whatever you want to call them, for us to answer, and that all are about horror sequels. So, question number 1. What is your favorite underrated sequel? I'm going to go with Pet Sematary 2. I don't hear it talked about a lot in the horror community. I really think Clancy Brown plays a pretty awesome bad guy. And then you've got Anthony Edwards from ER, and then Edward Furlong from T2. Just a great movie. All right, question number 2. Your favorite slasher sequel? I'm not going to go with my gut response, because I'm going to save it for another question. But I'm going to say my favorite slasher sequel is Friday the 13th Part 4, the final chapter. Really like Ted White's performance as Jason. You have a young Corey Feldman. It's a fun movie. It was meant to be the end of the franchise, but then, money talks. But yeah, it was a great story, great conclusion. So Friday the 13th Part 4 is my favorite slasher sequel. Question number 3, a horror sequel that you enjoy but others seem to hate. I enjoy Texas Chainsaw 3D. I know there's some timeline issues that don't necessarily sync, but Alexandra Daddario, eye candy. You've got, Scott Eastwood, eye candy for you ladies. So, good movie. And you got Leatherface. I'm going to flip that, Sean. I'm going to flip it on its head. So, a sequel that I hate, but others seem to love. I'm going to go with Evil Dead 2 and Army of Darkness. I'm not a fan of the whole slapstick stuff. I think Bruce Campbell's overrated. Mr. Newton, I'm going to need you to hand over your horror community membership card. Yeah, hot take there. So, yeah, Evil Dead 2 and Army of Darkness. Not a fan. All right, question 4. A sequel in name but doesn't tie into the original. I'm going to go with Exorcist 3. Yes, you've got Father Karras, but it doesn't tie into the whole Reagan possession story from the original Exorcist. So, yeah, Exorcist 3 is my favorite horror sequel that doesn't tie to the original. All right, my favorite part 2. My favorite part 2. My favorite part 2. It's not Elm Street. It's not Evil Dead. Favorite part. I'm gonna go with Poltergeist 2. I really enjoy that one quite a bit. It's as good as the original in my opinion. Reverend Kane, creepy character. So yeah, Poltergeist 2 is my favorite part 2. My favorite part 3. This is the one I would have said was my favorite slasher sequel, but I wanted to save it for this one. So, number 6, favorite part 3, Dream Warriors. Dream Warriors is probably the one that I've watched the most out of the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. Yeah, Freddy's still scary. He's starting to break into the whole comedy act. But yeah, great special effects. You got Nancy back in it. So Dream Warriors is my favorite part 3. Question number 7. A horror sequel you enjoy more than the original? Easy. I just watched it last night. I really enjoyed The Nun 2. I was not a fan of the original Nun. It was just your typical jump scares. I didn't really see a purpose of making that movie, but I really did enjoy The Nun 2. It's got a great story. You've got Irene returning, you got Maurice returning. There are jump scares, but they're done tastefully. So The Nun 2 is my favorite horror sequel that I enjoy more than the original. All right, question number 8. Worst horror sequel of all time. That's got to be hands down The Exorcist 2, The Heretic. That's probably going to make a lot of people's list. Question number 9. Your favorite horror prequel. The Thing. People talk about it like it's blasphemy that they use CGI, but it's a great movie, and it really ties in nicely to The Thing from John Carpenter. So I like to watch this immediately followed by John Carpenter's The Thing. So that is my favorite horror prequel. Number 10, a horror sequel with all the ingredients for success but failed. Exorcist 2. You had Reagan back. You had James Earl Jones in it. Some other big names. But yeah, that one was a flop. Question number 11. A horror sequel that completely derailed the franchise. Jason X. Yeah, you can put a leprechaun in space. You can put clowns in space, but you can't put Jason in space. All right. Question number 12. A direct sequel to the original, but not your favorite sequel in the franchise. A direct sequel to the original, but not your favorite sequel in the franchise. I'm not sure what Sean's... Oh, right. What is your favorite direct sequel to the original, but not necessarily your favorite sequel in the franchise? My favorite number 2 that's not necessarily my favorite in the entire franchise, Halloween 2? I mean, it's a good movie, but it's not my favorite in the Halloween franchise. Or favorite sequel. My favorite sequel would be Halloween 2018. But if I had to exclude the David Gordon Green trilogy, that seems to be the big buzzword, David Gordon Green, I would say Halloween H2O is my favorite in the Halloween franchise, even though Halloween 2 is a great one. Let's see here. Question 13. What is your favorite overall sequel? My favorite overall sequel would have to be The Evil Dead from 2013. I like it more than the original Evil Dead trilogy. I like it more than Evil Dead Rise. It's got everything that I want from an Evil Dead movie. Gore, very little comedy, and, possession. Body parts being severed. So yeah, Evil Dead 2013 is my favorite overall sequel. All right, that's going to do it for Sean Ershen's Revenge of the Horror sequel tag. I'm going to tag Hobbs at Hobbs Horror, Ben at the Cadaver Club, and let's see, who can I'm going to tag Bronco Juggalo Brad. So tag you guys, you are it. And if anyone else wants to take part, I will put the questions down below in the description. Go over to Sean's, check out his announcement and his responses. And yeah, that's going to do it for this video. Hope you all are doing well. And until next time, take care.